بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا ونبينا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين لا سيما بقية الله في الأرضين أجل الله تعالى فرجه الشريف اللهم أخرجني من ظلمات الوهم وأكرمني بنور الفهم اللهم افتح علينا أبواب رحمتك وانشر علينا خزائن علومك برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. We continue our study of Tahrir al-Wasilah about al-Ijtihad wa al-Taqlid. So today inshallah we will finish this discussion, and then our discussion with about Ijtihad Taqlid will finish. We said that
which page are we on?
We are page 24.
Huh?
24.
24.
So after, you're welcome. After discussing which problems, which masail you need to know, and saying that anything which is possibly happening to you, which is applicable to you, you should know. And we said that you don't need to know in a very detailed way, but you need to know as much as what you do would be acceptable. Ijmalan, you should know it. Maybe you don't know it's wajib or mustahab, you know what? You should know everything which is needed to be performed or to be avoided, conditions, parts, obstacles, these type of things. Now we have a very important question that may not happen to everyone, but happens for the people who do something on behalf of someone else, or people who are hired to pray or fast or to perform Hajj on behalf of someone else. Okay? So the question is, should the person who acts on behalf of someone else follow the fatwa of his own marja or the fatwa of the person on behalf of whom he is performing? Okay? And the same is about wasiyah. If someone makes a will that you do this, for example, when I die, you do this for me. So there are two mas'ala here. The title is al-Wakalatu wal-Ijara. Wakala means to be agent. Wakil means to be hired. Al-Mas'ala al-Ula. Al-Wakil fi amalin anil ghayr. A person who acts as an agent on behalf of someone else. كإجراء عقد. For example, to perform marriage formula. Two people come to an alim and say, please recite for us marriage, sermon, nikah. So this alim may be himself a mujtahid or follows a marja different from them. Okay? أو أداء خمس. Or for example, someone says, please you go and on my behalf, settle my khums with my marja, for example. أو نحوهما. Or for example, someone is wakil of a marja, he himself also is a mujtahid, for example. So any person who is wakil to do something on behalf of someone else, يجب عليه أن يعمل بمقتضى تقليد الموكل. He has to act according to the requirement of the taqwa of muwakkil. Muwakkil is the one who makes him wakil. Yeah? So, Ismul Fa'il. Yeah. Muwakkil is fa'il. Yeah. So, Tawkil means to give wakala. So if I give you wakala, I am muwakkil you are wakil or muwakkal. Okay, normally we say you are wakil, which means muwakkal, and I am muwakkal. And this action is tawkil. I am giving you wakala. Okay? So, sometimes, for example, for marriage or divorce, for example, when we want to conduct on behalf of someone, for example, we say zawjatu muwakkili taliq, for example. Muwakkili means the one who has made me wakil, for example. Okay? So, of course, there are many different types and details. So, wakil has to act بمقتضى تقليد الموكل لا تقليد نفسه إذا كان مختلفا. He should act according to the fatwa of the marja of the muwakkil, not his own taqlid if they are following different marja, or he himself is a mujtahid, for example. So if there is any requirement for validity of this act according to the marja of muwakkil, which according to him is not needed, still he has to observe it. For example, maybe this person follows a marja who says nikah doesn't need to be Arabic. But that person says nikah has to be in Arabic. So he has to do it in Arabic. He cannot say according to me or my marja it's not needed. Okay? Or for example, maybe according to his fatwa or marja, for example, permission of the father for a girl who is not married before is not, for example, necessary. But for that person's marja is necessary. So he cannot conduct marriage without seeking permission from the father. So basically, any requirement which is needed according to the marja of that muwakkil has to be observed. Wakil has no authority to disregard it. Yes?
In our general communities, people, even learned people, they don't have concepts like these. So in that case, if they ask for nikah, things like that, a person comes and he just recites it normally.
So they have to make sure they do it in the way that according to all maraja is accepted.
Oh, there is a bit.
Yeah, so if they do it according to all maraja, then that's fine.
So muwakkil is a pointer?
Pardon?
A pointer, muwakkil?
Muwakkil means the one who appoints the agent, the wakil.
That's a pointer.
Yes.
Appointed.
Appointer, yes.
Awesome.
2. This was about wakil. But what about al-Ajiru anil wasi awil wali fi ityan salat wa nahwaha anil mayyit. Someone's father or mother, for example, has passed away. Okay? So, you want to look for someone to perform Hajj on behalf of your late father or mother. You are wali. You are the guardian. Or maybe it's not your father. You are an alim and someone who has passed away has made you his wasi. You know, means in his will, he said that this alim would take care of my religious issues, financial issues, you know, this type of thing. So he's a wasi. So wasi can be, he chooses one of his children or may choose someone who is not a relative. You understand the difference between wasi and wali? Wali is automatically, without even wasaya, the children become wasi, or for example, you know, the son, you know, or eldest son, you know, may do this. But wasi is the one who has been appointed as in charge of his affairs. So basically, now this wali or wasi either his, for example, son, he has one son and he is, doing this for him, or the one who is his wasi. They have managed to find someone who is going to Hajj this year. Our father or our muwassi needs Hajj. He has passed away, and are you happy to do Hajj on his behalf? Maybe free of charge, or maybe he takes some money. He's ajir, means he has been hired. Okay? So, here, the one who goes to Hajj, to perform Hajj on behalf of this marhum, should do Hajj according to his own marja, not the marja of marhum. Because he has to perform a valid Hajj, and then the whole Hajj is dedicated to that marhum. But if he performs a Hajj which is invalid, then it's not possible. And maybe it creates problem for him. For example, he does tawaf nisa in the way that according to his own marja is void. According to the marja of the dead person is okay. Then he gets into trouble. Yeah. So, salam alaikum. Al-ajiru anil wasi abil wali fi etiyan as-salat wa nahwaha anil mayyit. The one who is hired by a person who is wasi or the guardian who is wali to bring Hajj or other ibadat. Okay? Maybe Hajj, maybe other things. Anil mayyit, on behalf of the dead person. يلزم عليهم مراعاة تقليد نفسه. He has to say salat in the way that he does his own salat. He has to do Hajj in the way that he does his own Hajj. لا تقليد الميت ولا تقليد الوصي أبل ولي. Neither he acts according to the fatwa of the marja of the dead person or the people who have hired him. Is it clear?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, now, what is the meaning of the term ahwat? We have two types of ihtiyat. Al-ihtiyat al-istihbabi, al-ihtiyat al-wujubi. Al-ihtiyat al-istihbabi means recommended precaution. That is when marja has fatwa. This is very important. In ihtiyat al-istihbabi or ihtiyat al-mustahab, marja has fatwa, but still he says ihtiyat is to do this. Because he has fatwa, that ihtiyat becomes mustahab. For example, he says, al-zahiru kifayatu tasbihat al-arba'a marratan wahida. Al-zahir. ولكن الأحوات ثلاث مرات. So his fatwa is that one tasbihat arba is enough in the third rakah, fourth rakah, but he says to be on the safe side, do 3 times. Because he has already given fatwa, this becomes ihtiyat mustahab. If you don't do it, it's not a problem. Is it clear? So, al-ihtiyat al-istihbabi huwa al-masbuq aw al-malhuq بفتوى المجتهد على خلافه, is the one which is preceded or followed. Marja has fatwa and he mentions his fatwa either before this or after this. It doesn't matter. What is important, he has a fatwa which says this is not necessary. But still he says it's better to do this. He may not say it's better. He says this is my fatwa, but it's more precautious to do this. Means it is better. هو المسبوق It is the ihtiyat which is preceded, awil malhuq, or is followed by fatwa of mujtahid ala khilafihi, against it. So he says one is enough, but then before or after that it says al-ahwatu thalath marra. To be more precocious, do 3 times. Because before or after he said one is enough, so this becomes mustahab. بمعنى أن المجتهد بعد أن بين رأيه, after the mujtahid has explained his opinion, أشار إلى طريق الاحتياط. After that, he has made a kind of indication to what is the way of ihtiyat. وَيَكُونُ الْمُقَلِّدُ مُخَيَّرًا. In such cases, you don't need to act according to ihtiyat. You have choice. You can act according to fatwa. You can act according to ihtiyat. You can say 1 times, for example, or 3 times. If he says 1 tasbihat arba is enough, but to be on the safe side, do it 3 times. وَلَيْسَ لَهُ الرُّجُوعُ إِلَى غَيْرِ مُقَلَّدِهِ. غَيْرِ مُقَلَّدِهِ, not مُقَلِّدِهِ. مُقَلَّد. مُقَلَّد means your marja, the one that you follow. Muqallad, not you are muqallid. Your marja is muqallad. Muqallad, yes. When there is ihtiyat mustahab, means your marja has fatwa. You cannot go to the another marja. Okay?
Very confusing.
Why?
Muqallid.
Muqallid is the lay person.
Normally we put kasra ismul fa'il.
Yes. Yes. Muqallid. You are doing taqlid.
Oh, I'm doing taqlid.
So you are muqallid.
And I'm doing to.
But who is followed? Marja. So he's muqallad.
Okay, so I'm doing, because I'm the doer, that's why I'm muqallid.
Yes. Yes. You are doing taqlid, but he is the one that is followed, so he is muqallad. You're welcome. So, in ihtiyat mustahab, because your marja has fatwa, you cannot go to another marja. Of course, it is according to Imam Khomeini, who doesn't permit referring to another marja. You know, he doesn't permit tab'iz for taqlid, which we will talk about. Mithalu dhalik. Let us give you an example. Al-ina'ul mutanajjis yatuhuru or yutahharu. A container, ina means container, which is mutanajjis, not that it is made from najis. It has become najis, it has been touched by najis. Will become clean بغسله مرة واحدة بماء الكر. If you wash it once with ma'ul kur, it becomes clean. So he says this, but still he says وَإِنْ كَانَ الْأَحْوَاتِ غَسْلَهُ ثَلَاثَ مَرَّاتٍ. But it's more precocious to wash it 3 times with kur, because he has already given fatwa that once is enough. You realize that this ihtiyat is mustahab, it's not wajib. Yeah? You don't need to wash 3 times. You can do it just once. But it's better to do. To be on the safe side, it's better, but it's not necessary. The second type of ihtiyat is al-ihtiyatul wujubi, or al-ihtiyatul wajib. هو الذي لا يكون مسبوقا ولا ملحوقا بالفتوى على خلافه. Mujtahid has no fatwa here, which has been mentioned before or after. He doesn't have any fatwa. Actually, the reason for ihtiyat wajib is because he has not been able to make up his mind, The evidence was not convincing for him, but he also cannot ignore the evidence for obligation. Because if there was no strong evidence for obligation, he would have said bara'ah. Yeah? So it's not enough to say fatwa, but it's not also enough to ignore it. It's not, possible to ignore it. So he has no fatwa. Before or after, no fatwa. وَالْمُقَلِّدْ فِي مِثْلِ هَذِهِ الْحَالَةِ. When your marja has ihtiyat wajib, means he says something is ihtiyat and he has no fatwa. What can you do? Either you act according to ihtiyat wajib, or you go to fal-a'lam, to the next marja in a'lamiyah, the second most knowledgeable person. وَالْمُقَلِّدُ فِي مِثْلِ هَذِهِ الْحَالَةِ إِمَّا أَنْ يَعْمَلَ بِهِ. Either he acts according to ihtiyat wajib, أو يرجع إلى غير مرجعه, or he can refer to someone other than his own marja, to another marja, but he has to observe al-a'lamu fal-a'lam ma'a mura'at al-a'lam fal-a'lam, means he can only go one level lower to the second most knowledgeable person. Okay? For example, your marja says al-ahwatu عدم السجود على ورقة العنب إذا لم تكن يابسة. Ihtiyat here is wajib because he doesn't say anything other than this. There is no fatwa. You should not do sajda, you should not prostrate on the leaf of grape when it is not dry. Because basically, we can do sajda on leaf because it is not something which is eatable. Okay, and it's not used as a kind of but because they eat the leaf of grape, they do dulme. What do you call? You say dulma? Yeah. So, therefore, if it is not dry, because when it is dry, they don't eat it. So it's ihtiyat wajib not to do sajda on that. Okay? So, this is what you have to do if you want to follow your marja. You have to avoid. Or go to fal-a'lam, to the second most knowledgeable marja. If he says it is possible, no problem. Okay? Then, another mas'ala. يتخير المكلف في الاحتياط الوجوبي بين العمل بالاحتياط أو الرجوع إلى الغير. الأعلم فالأعلم على الأحوة وجوبا. You have the choice of the same thing that we just said. You have the choice, the mukallaf has the choice in ihtiyat wajib to act according to ihtiyat or to refer to the second person. Al-a'lam fal-a'lam. This by itself is ihtiyat wajib, that you have to go to the second most knowledgeable person. Because a'lamiyya for Imam Khomeini was ihtiyat wajib. So going to the second a'lam is also ihtiyat wajib. Another مسألة يتخير المكلف في الاحتياط الاستحبابي بين فعل الاحتياط أو تركه. It's just the summary of what we said above. Now, the next issue is البقاء على تقليد الميت. Here
It's not 25.
There is a footnote. 25, yes.
25. Next 25.
25.
Maybe I didn't get a page in this one.
In the footnote, it says, with respect to the issues related to baqa on mayyit, we should refer to the most knowledgeable living marja. Okay? Therefore, in this section, they have mentioned fatwas of Ayatollah Khamenei. Okay? لا يجوز البقاء على تقليد الميت إلا بالاعتماد على فتوى الحي. It's not permissible to remain with following a dead marja unless you rely on the fatwa of the living marja. Okay? Therefore, you have to identify who is qualified among living marja, who is qualified, has all the conditions, including alamiyah. You ask him. If he says you can still follow your marja who has passed away, you can do his taqlid. Otherwise, you have to shift. Okay? So basically, we are following the hayy, the living marja. And because of his permission, we follow the dead marja. And in this way, it means that this cannot continue for a long time. It will be a matter of one generation, like 2 generations maximum.
I'm muqallid of the Rahbar.
Yeah.
But Rahbar's Tawzil Masail is not in detail, it's only the answers which I've got in mind. So if I read the Tawzil Masail of Aghay Khomeini and just for information, but obviously I follow the Tawzil Masail of Ali Khamenei, is that okay? Because I think he allows that you can see the details, fatwas.
Whom did you follow before? Is your first marja?
This is my first one.
Yeah. Here, normally you cannot follow the fatwa of another person, but it seems, according to them, Ayatollah Khamenei permits that when he has no fatwa, to follow Imam Khomeini's fatwa. This is what we had actually last session. There was a footnote here that أوجب الإمام الخامنئي في هذه الحالة الرجوع إلى فتاوى الإمام الخميني. So, according to them, but you can double check. So, what's important is we have to always get permission from the living marja if you want to follow our previous marja. Then, now that we refer to the living marja who is qualified, according to him, there are 3 options. Of course, this is based on Ayatollah Khamenei's fatwa. 1. يجوز البقاء على تقليد الميت. You can follow still your marja who has passed away. You can remain in his taqlid. في جميع المسائل. In every mas'ala, whether you have learned those masail when he was alive, or even you didn't learn, and therefore you didn't practice, but because you have acted upon some of his masail, you have become his muqallid. Okay? Because some people say you can only follow those masail that you have followed during his life. For example, if during his life you didn't go to Hajj, and now you want to go to Hajj, some say you cannot. And some say still you can. Because fil jumla, partially, were his muqallid, although everything was not applicable to you at that time. So you are considered as his muqallid, even if you didn't go to Hajj. So according to Ayatollah Khamenei, يجوز البقاء على تقليد الميت في جميع المسائل التي تعلمها أو لم يتعلمها. In all masail, he has learned them or not learned them when his marja' was alive. But there is one احتياط واجب. ولكن الأحوط وجوبا العدول إلى الحي إذا كان هو الأعلم. But it is احتياط واجب to refer to حي when حي is أعلم. Okay? Of course, if حي it says it's okay, it's okay.
What do you mean refer to on that issue?
No, in general. So if حي is أعلم, you have to refer to حي. Pardon?
Be under him.
Yes. So basically, if you followed someone,
And even that person was alam, the one you followed, and this is also alam.
No.
Still you refer to the high.
He was a'lam of his time, for example. But now, this living one is a'lam from the dead one. More knowledgeable than the dead one. You have to follow him. If it is, something that can be established that he is a'lam, the living one. Of course, maybe the living one says you can continue, but ihtiyat wajib is to shift to the a'la.
Is that constantly, this kind of understanding is shared by the team of experts constantly?
Normally, they permit remaining with the dead one, but there are details which are different. For example, some Maraja say, if the one who passed away was a'lam, you should remain. You don't have choice. According to, yes, like Sistani. For example, if you followed Sayyid Khou'i, and Sayyid Khou'i is for you a'lam, according to the evidence that you have a'lam than Agha Sistani, you have to remain with Sayyid Khou'i. Okay? According to Ayatollah Khamenei, this is not an issue. So even if the dead one is a'lam, you can shift to the living one. What he has is that if the living one is a'lam, you cannot remain with the dead one. 2. Look at this. The difference between him and Ayatollah Sistani is here. يجوز العدول إلى الحي في جميع المسائل حتى لو كان الميت هو الأعلى. You can refer to the living one in all masail, even if the dead one is more knowledgeable. Okay? 3. يجوز التبعيض بين الميت والحي. So when we say, for example, you used to follow Imam Khomeini, now you follow Ayatollah Khamenei. You can follow Ayatollah Khamenei, you can follow Imam Khomeini, you can also sometimes shift. For example, you still follow Imam Khomeini, but in some masail, follow Ayatollah Khamenei. This is also possible. يجوز التبعيض بين الميت والحي. You can divide Taqlid into following the one who has passed away and the living one. Okay? To divide. بأن يبقى على تقليد الميت. You remain with the taqlid of the dead one, the late marja'ah, ببعض المسائل. In certain masail. ويعدل إلى الحي ببعض آخر. And shifts to the living one in some masail. some people, for example, did this. For example, Imam Khomeini had fatwa about Bilad Kabira, which for some people was difficult to practice, because if you work in another town, which is more than Masafat al-Shar'i, religious distance,
London is the
you could not then, fast, or if you commute, even if it is not Bilad Kabira, but you commute. Either you commute or it's a Bilad Kabira. There were some issues which were not easy for some people. So you can only in these masail follow the living one. But لكنه إذا عدل إلى الحي, but when you shift, then you cannot again go back. إذا عدل إلى الحي لا يجوز على الأحوة وجوبا الرجوع إلى الميت فيما عدل فيه. If in Bilad Kabira you said, okay, now I follow Ayatollah Khamenei. After some time you say, no, still I go back. It's not possible. So you can remain with the dead marja. But if you have left to go back, it's like to initiate taqlid. It's like ibtida. It's not possible.
In that matter only.
In that matter, you cannot go back. تساوي المجتهدين في العلم. What about if there are two marja or more who are at the same level of knowledge, at the top, of course, not in the middle or bottom. So there are people at the top who are equal. Okay? So there is no one outstanding a'la. Pardon?
Who decides?
According to the ways we said, either you examine them if you are an alim, or two alim who are experts, bear witness, or it is commonly established that these two are at the top and equal in a'lamiyah. So through your methods, which we said before, we said methods for establishing a'lamiyah. If it is established that tasawa al-mujtahidan fil ilm, two mujtahid or even more, they are equal in knowledge. If two mujtahids are equal, yatakhayyar al-ami, the layperson, the muqallid, has choice. فَالرُّجُوعِ إِلَىٰ أَيِّهِمَا, he can choose any of them altogether. كَمَا يَجُوزُ لَهُ التَّبْعِيث فِي الْمَسَائِلِ, or partially. So he can choose A altogether and follow him wholeheartedly and completely, or B, or some of the things he follows A, some of them he follows B. Yes. يجوز له كما يجوز له التبعيض في المسائل بأخذ بعضها من أحدهما وبعضها من الآخر. Of course, this is something that some maraja permit, not all maraja. Some of them don't permit this. Then in the footnote, it says يجوز التخيير بينهما ابتداءً. This choice is at the beginning. You remember in usul we had sometimes at-takhir al-badwi, at-takhir al-istimrari.
Yeah,
badwi means only at the beginning you have choice, but after that you have to be committed. يجوز التخيير بينهما ابتداءً. You can choose at the beginning. فإذا تم اختيار أحدهما, if you choose one of them, لا يجوز العدول إلى الآخر على الأحوة وجوبا. If you say, I want to follow A, and you follow him, then you cannot go to B. إلا إذا صار الثاني أعلم. Of course, if the B becomes more knowledgeable, then you should shift. You have to shift احتياط wajib is always to go to a'lam. Okay? So, you have a question?
Yeah, I just want to say that if I'm following two ulamas, two manhaj taqleeds, and if there is sometime in, sometime, and if there is a
But whatever you choose, you have to remain with that. You cannot keep changing. For example, you say, in Hajj I follow B, in Salat I follow A, or in this particular mas'ala. But then always should be like that.
You choose Marja Alim is very difficult for ordinary people like us. We usually rely on
Experts.
scholars,
Of course, yes.
That's normally what we should do, isn't it?
Yeah. There are different ways, but one way which is normally applicable to people is to ask experts. Yes.
I think I have a question, but I don't want to record.
Okay. Okay, so Alhamdulillah, we managed to finish the first two lessons of the book Durusun min Tahrir al-Wasilah, which was about Ijtihad wa al-Taqlid. So this completes our study of Ijtihad wa al-Taqlid. We studied it from Usul al-Istinbat. We also studied it from Tahrir al-Wasilah. One was Usuli, one was Fiqhi. I hope inshallah now you have some good understanding of this issue. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen.